Hello, hello! Welcome to the third episode of the BarnCast. I'm your host, Farhan, and joining me, my first guest, the servant of the Blood God of Chaos, and of course, the Blood God of the Eldar, is Jackson.
Yes, I love blood, apparently. I didn't know that connection existed, but now I do. Thank you, Farhan.
Well, now that I think of it, you actually play Sigmar Blood God as well.
I know. I also play Daughters of Cain. Yes, there's much blood to be had. And I play Khorne in Sigmar. Oh my gosh, blood everywhere.
Here to spit some great facts. It's Jimmy.
What's up? I don't really do grey facts though. I'm more of a Karamazov kind of guy.
Ooh. The old man on the big chair?
Hey man, he doesn't use his own legs to walk. That's the dream.
Karamazov!
Alright. He's mean. He's green. And he's stripping my colorblindness right now. I don't know if he's there. Matt?
I am here. Don't worry. It's I am green and red most of the time, but purple sometimes too.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, but when he's purple, we can't see him, so we don't.
Well, then everybody's on a level playing field.
It's coming together. It's too real.
yeah, and he's never blue because he rolls like pants.
This is true.
Maybe he needs to be blue, and then it'll just be better.
Yeah, we can paint you blue.
Blue his house.
That'd be a good time.
Yeah, blue little window, blue Corvette.
He is a rather large man, though, so it might take a while.
So, on today's episode, we're going to be covering this last week's worth of releases from Warhammer community. Literally, based off of our last episode, we've got more info on squats. We've gotten more info on knights. Oh, man. We got big things to talk about with Necromunda. Surprisingly, I don't even play Necromunda, but now maybe? Well, but before we get to any of that. Yeah, but before we get to that, guys, what have we been working on this week?
Oh, can I get
had
first?
Anything new?
Yeah, go. I literally today, as of recording, picked up the new box set with the Daughters of Cain and the what are the spooky boys called in Sigmar?
Oh, the spooky boys,
The Night Haunt. Yeah, and I've literally just before recording this have built the Gladiatrix. The whip lady that has the coiling whip going around her. And my gosh, what a difficult model to build that is. You know that the whip comes in 3 pieces. The whip. Oh. Yeah, the whip comes in 3 pieces, and the only connection point is her arm to her shoulder. So, and she's tiny.
So, yeah. I assume that she's like the same scale as the rest of the elves, right?
Oh, yeah. Exactly, and I'll give you a picture to show on stream right now for those watching on YouTube. I had to hold the whip itself up with my clippers and my knife while letting it dry because it was so difficult to get it to sit properly. But yeah, that's what I
can imagine that the elf model is a yay, perfect, but then the arm. Definitely a nay, and then the whip, another nay. So first you whip, then you nay, right?
Yeah, I mean, sure. She doesn't have a whole lot of hair.
I can't see him, but I can definitely hear him.
Yeah, sucks to be you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He's haunting me.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I've built 1 model so far. It's pretty dope. I like the whip, and more to go. And then I'm going to stick all these, the columns, the Greek columns that I talked about in the last podcast.
Do you still have the Night Haunt half of that box set?
I do.
Because I've had time to ruminate on that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we need to talk about it after the stream.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I've got it sitting right here. We'll
see what happens here.
Yeah.
And
we're making deals. Making deals.
You know what else? The box that it came in, it comes with the up-to-date rule book that we don't have. Now we have a rule book.
Hey!
It has a mini rule book in it. Yeah, and it even has like a little tray thing of all of these push-out tokens. So when you play Sigmar, and you know how you give like inspired or whatever, it has all those tokens with it as well.
Dude, that's wicked.
Yeah, it's awesome. So a great
does that mean we're going to see Sigmar on stream?
We will see Sigmar on stream when we get a board of terrain painted for it, and we get people who have painted armies for it. which is not
Look,
me.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already
I
got
kinda
one
wanna think-
fully ready to go.
Look,
Yeah.
I'll meet you guys
I
there.
feel like we're just waiting for Jackson now.
Oh,
Yeah, hurry up, mate.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, honestly, yes. I have I think 1,500 points of painted Sylvaneth, so I'm just a little bit short. I have demons ready to go, but my gosh, they suck. And then
You are a little bit short, but that's beside the point.
I am above average height, thank you.
I mean, not amongst our circle, but
That's what a short person would say.
I look quite short on stream, apparently. Yeah.
Yeah, next to all the 6'3" guests that you bring on, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We don't have Liam on very often, but when we do, we have to pan the camera up a little bit for him. Yeah.
So, Matt, what do you got? What are you working on?
I've been building one of those gladiator tanks for the Space
The
Marines.
gladiator tanks.
Yeah.
You mean the
little
the floaty
little
boys.
battle tank.
No, they're huge.
Yeah. Yeah, they're decent. It's not an Astrea super heavy tank, but it's still a floaty
As a man
boy.
who has a repulsor, I mean,
Honestly,
It's
it's
a
like the
smaller
same
tank.
size. It's the same
Yeah.
length. It's just a little bit not as wide. And it's taller as well.
what?
It's smaller than a Land Raider, and
huge.
I've also been working on a Land Raider, so it's
Yeah.
little. It's
I
basically a
always-
Rhino.
I always compared it to the Predator tank. Because
No,
it's like,
it's
it's
massive.
basically the... I mean, you got the Repulsor Executioner, which I kind of view as the next-gen Land Raider.
Oh,
And then-
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, in that
And
sense,
then you've
it
got the
is,
Gladiator. Yeah, because everything is a bit bigger with Primaris, right?
Yeah.
They're slightly better. They are slightly stronger. They're slightly taller. They're slightly
And they-
anything. But I've been
They
working on
have
that.
so
I've-
many guns.
I've almost fully painted an Impulsor as well.
Going full
and-
Primaris on your builds.
Yeah, and I've
Recently.
also managed to source. I don't know how I found them, but I found like 3 different weapons for the Land Raider to put in that center
Oh,
little
nice.
piece.
Yeah.
So I've got like a metal assault cannon, and then I've got
Wow,
2
where the
heavy
heck
bolters.
did you find that?
I don't know. I probably from something I tore apart to make an orc vehicle ages ago.
Wow.
But yeah, so I'm painting that.
How orky
Guys,
of you.
it's working. We said on stream many times, Matt, paint your Dark Angels. It's happening. They're getting painted. Yes.
Jackson, paint your trees.
Look, most of them
He's passed
are
the baton.
painted.
He's passing it along.
I've got 4 Wildwoods that are all painted. I'll have you know.
I've
Wow.
got 2,500 points of Dark Angels that are painted. It just happens to be that 750 points of those are characters.
Yeah.
This is getting a bit intense, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Quite
Yeah,
heated.
fight me.
I
Yes.
will. I wish I could. I want to.
Let's
What
do
a
it.
strange battle.
Sylvaneth
Between-
versus Dark Angels.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
You're not out of the woods yet, mate.
Ah.
Ooh, there it is.
Oh
Nice.
man. So Jimmy, what do you got? What have you been working on?
So, I have actually done some hobby in the last couple of weeks. Shock horror to those who actually talk to me because I never have time to do it. I, as of tonight, finished painting 4 Inquisitorial Stormtroopers. Not just any Stormtroopers, these are 3rd edition metal Stormtroopers.
Nice.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've only got about 60 more of those to go, so, you know.
Only.
Only.
Or
Yeah.
60. I think it's pretty good. That's a pretty good
Yeah,
start,
no,
you know?
hey,
The eternal curse of our hobby, am I right?
Yeah.
that's it. And I seem to be a sucker for monopose models, so
Ah,
Yeah.
man, out of my own heart.
Yeah.
You speak to
But-
me, man.
yeah. So after that, just before the stream, I pulled out some of my Krieg models because I'm all about guard right now. Give me the book.
Yeah.
And these ones I painted probably about 7 years ago, and I looked at them and went, "What was I thinking?"
Yeah, time for a repaint.
So yeah, I'm bringing them up to scratch of what I want my Kriegers to look like in the 41st millennium and not the 19th century.
I was chatting to Jimmy the other day saying, "Oh yeah, it's just I think I mentioned it in the last podcast or something as well. That that I was
Yeah,
like,
last time you were on.
it's just demons left and Chaos Knights and Chaos Marines and that's it." And he was like, "And guard." And I was like, "No. We don't need guard. What guard? I don't know what you're talking about, Jimmy.
I mean,
Sorry. It's the Astra Militarum.
oh yes, of course.
Even then,
Like,
we don't need those.
I'll be pretty honest as well. Like, the only thing that was really holding me back is the fact that they don't have their book. Because like, I've fallen into fascination with Guard for quite a bit. Especially after listening to a bunch of the Gaunt's Ghosts books.
Yes, those are so good.
I've been listening to them as audiobooks, and I've just been so keen on it. But every time I look at the rules, I just go, I have to wait. I
Yeah.
have to.
That's what it is. And I'm at the point now where it's like, I want to do Guard in a new book. I need to get them ready. And I've had these Kriegs sitting there for nearly 10 years now. So, gonna get going. Plus, I'm getting a good friend of mine who's got a very good resin printer, has printed off a lot of trench bases and bits and pieces, which has made me super keen to get into my Krieg again. So,
Ooh.
Nice.
Wow.
Love to see them on stream, right?
getting down and dirty in the trenches.
As
Yeah.
a sucker for bases, I am very keen to see these bases.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
they'll get out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Without further ado, I think we should get started, lads. I think the first thing we should.
But first, I think we should limber up and do some squats.
Oh, the
Man up
segue
to
is
man up.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk squats, guys. We actually left off last episode. For Jimmy and Jackson, who weren't there. We actually ended off last episode talking squats, and literally the day after we recorded, they released this whole long article on Warhammer Community talking about the way that the squats were, when they started, what their role was, all that kind of stuff, with some really cool pieces of artwork, honestly.
Does anyone actually know how to say their name? Leagues of Votan?
I'm going to go with Leagues of Votan.
Yeah.
Votan?
Votan?
Yes, as a man named
Votan?
Ferran, they are the Leagues of Votan.
They're the Leagues of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I believe.
Yes.
Ferran, is that just a method that you're going to use to make it more acceptable to buy this army when it comes out? The League of
you
Votan
have no idea.
for
I've
Ferran?
sold myself. I've sold my soul to this already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wish me luck in the future, guys. I may not have the funds.
Yeah. I'm just going to call them something wrong every single time then,
But,
just to be ultra annoying.
I'd implore our
Voted.
listeners to actually tune into our episode from last week, because we really actually covered the entire story from this article last episode. But one of the really big things that I wanted to talk about was we got a lot more visuals on what squats used to be like visually, like what they looked like, what their gear was, what their vehicles and all that were. And I really wanted to continue our conversation forward and ask you guys, what do you want to see the aesthetic look like now? I mean, it's obviously changed. I mean, if we compare what they look like now with how they looked back when they were out.
If they don't have blimps and las guns, I'll be sad.
I mean, they need to have better las guns than actual Marines based off of what they've done with their lore.
Well, just
Yeah,
going
shot
off
las
the
guns.
Yeah, Jimmy?
just going off the pictures of what they used to be and what they are now, it seems like they've done some advancing.
Yeah.
Sounds like Heresy.
I mean, they did tease the fact that they had a bit of heresy going on amongst themselves.
Yeah, and in the last podcast, Ferran, you were talking about where they would fit in as a faction, like Xenos or Imperium, or what? I mean, if they're heretical, were they going to be Chaos?
Nah, you're crazy. This guy is crazy. He's an Eldar player. We don't talk to him about Imperium.
Chaos,
think-
dwarves.
I think
Okay, let's be honest. They are actually going to be Imperium. It just says that Imperium don't actively attack them because of Chaos and Xenos.
I also agree. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like we said it last podcast. Like they're kind of like the Mechanicus, like a separate entity, but like still part of the fold. Humanity teams up with them sometimes, but not all the times. They kind of have their own thing going, which I'm quite excited to see.
I think that's pretty fair, to be honest. I mean, the Imperium doesn't really have too many factions compared to something like the Chaos side, which has 2. So I feel as though they need another one. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that I thought would be interesting to talk to you guys about is their old aesthetic really felt very bikey. Dare I say? They had biker gang aesthetics, like motifs. And
I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about seeing motorcycles? Or I'd assume that they'd be like more hover, like maybe
I was gonna say, will they be jet technology bikes, or will they be like land bikes like the Marines have?
Well, if they've gone through like a technological advancement, which it seems like from the pictures of old to now, they kind of have. You kind of think they'd have jet bikes or something, you know?
Yeah, because like when they came out originally, they were kind of like, let's take the fantasy dwarves and chuck them in the 41st millennium and not really do too much with them. But now, obviously, it's been so many years and so many like aesthetical changes and tweaks, and the 41st millennium's kind of become its own thing separate from Warhammer Fantasy Battles. They really need to stand out in a different way, but I wonder how much of them are actually gonna, and how much of that old aesthetic is still gonna seep through. Like,
we'll see.
We're not gonna see tank.
If they have hover bikes, then you can't have a tricycle, and there's no 3 wheels on a hover
you
bike.
can have 3 jets.
3 jets. What? Just where the wheels are supposed to go, and then they hover like
perfect.
like a couple centimeters off the base. Yeah.
I just kind of think of like kind of like the Star Wars speeder bikes where they have like the jet thrusters on either side.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks like the profile of a tricycle.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could be nice. I reckon if they have 2 of them on there as well, like the new Shroud Runners, that would be pretty cool. Have like a little gunner and another guy driving.
On their old ones, the tricycle did have like they had the rider, I guess, and a gunner. Yeah. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I mean,
we know that tricycles do exist in the 41st millennium. It's just that they're ridden by orcs instead.
Of course. They saw the superior technological advancements of these dwarves.
I also like
and then made it orky. I swear.
Both Matt and I referenced. We both referenced our own armies in relation to this Shroud Runners and orcs with their tricycles. Mm-hmm. The only way we know how to relate, guys.
This is it.
That sounds exactly right. Yeah.
All I'm hearing is that squats traded bikes with orcs, and that's heresy.
I mean,
that's not heresy.
The Imperium has more important things to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hey man, I'm not against a good purge with holy fire.
Yeah.
We'd like to see you try.
Yeah.
But there's a perfect grounds for another like interesting like battle report even, or like a story. Just in general, I'd love to see conflict from the Leagues of Votann and the Imperium, but also like times where they have to desperately ally with them. I think that would be like a great like dynamic as like a separate, succinct society from the Imperium.
I mean, the way that I see it is that the Imperium will ally with the Leagues of Votann the same way that the Imperium, like parts of the Imperium, ally with like the Grey Knights. Most of the time they don't know they exist. Suddenly there are Space Marines with silver armor, and suddenly everyone's dead. It'll be similar in that sense, where they have no idea, who they are or where they've come from, but apparently they look human enough that they'll be like, yeah, cool, help us out.
Well, I mean,
and then suddenly
they
they go.
classify as abhuman, so they're like the same kind of classifications as like Ogrins, Ratlings. Technically, even Beastmen in 40k are considered abhumans.
Aren't they called Wolfen?
No. Beastmen are their own subrace, but like in the early parts of the Imperium, they used to employ them in the guard, but over time they cut them out and classified them as heretical because they felt like they were warp touched compared to the other abhumans.
Guard dogs?
Oh my gosh. Moving on. I will never get used to the fact that they're called Leagues of Votann. Like, there has to be some kind of shorthand for that. We could just call them Votanns? Leagues? I don't know.
They call each other kin.
Kin. Okay, the kin then. What do you think that the base troop is going to be called? Because Space Marines, they have Marines.
Kinsmen.
Technically, they're intercessors, but Marines, right?
League of Votann Kinsmen.
The Kinsmen? You reckon that you're betting on Kinsmen?
I'm not betting
As
on
the
anything,
base?
sir.
No? Okay, all bets are off.
That's right.
I think that'd be cool if they adopted the old words for the dwarves from old fantasy. Like if there's a gunner unit and then they're called quarrelers, or like the iron breakers or something, that I reckon that'd be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Although they're
Ceramite breakers.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Man, the Ceramite breakers are going to have a lot of trouble against the Wraithbone then. I'm totally fine with that.
Well,
The Wraith Boners?
one of the big things that I wanted to also draw out from the old aesthetic. Yeah, one of the old things that I wanted to bring out, like to talk about, is they kind of look like an offshoot of Guard back in the old days.
That's what they were back in the old days.
Yeah,
were
they
just
were.
mercenaries.
Isn't that what
They're
they
kind of
were?
like
Yeah.
Ratlings,
Short
but like fatter.
guardsmen.
Yeah, that's what they were. They
Fatlings?
lived on the gravity planet, etc.
Fatlings. Yeah, but like now that they're completely different and succinct, are they gonna have like Jackson? You just brought it up earlier. Like, will they have las guns? Will they have like some Imperial technology? We've seen plasma pistols and power fists. Like,
Judging from that
you reckon they're
picture,
gonna bring?
judging from the picture that is on of that singular guy running
The
forward.
only one we've seen so far, yeah.
The only one we've seen so far. Thank you, Matt. I
Is that
don't
a
know.
las gun?
It doesn't look like a bolter. It looks more like a flamer because it has a canister on the bottom.
It does, but it could be like a cell, like a charge cell for like a future super Dwarden.
Oh, Ferran, it's
las
looking
gun.
more and more dire for you, my friend. If they've got laser guns and then they bring out some blimps,
I'm good with this. I said this. I'm good with it. In 40k, in Sigmar,
Overlords.
it's a bit much. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're gonna
honestly,
fly through the clouds and collect
I'm
the
gonna be so
space dust.
excited. I'm gonna be so excited to see that kit bash of people using them in 40k, where they belong.
It's going to happen, and it's going to be amazing.
It's
That's
going
right.
to be a whole army of these guys, and then Kaldor Drago, and they're all going to
Yeah.
farm space dust
But
together.
I swear to God, if I see someone kit bashing these guys into Kharadron Overlords and running them in Age of Sigmar, I'm coming for you.
I
I
don't
wish
think
my
they
fantasy
would.
had more sci-fi in it.
These are going to be way more expensive than Kharadron Overlords, surely. I reckon they'll
Oh,
go the other
100%.
way. Yeah.
I mean,
Same as
Kharadron
Sisters
are
in
not
Battle.
cheap. I mean, they're mostly like the cheapest thing that you can get is obviously the start collecting box. But other than that, I think all their kits are relatively new, so they're all
Ferran,
relatively
the new
expensive.
Eldar stuff is $100 for 5 ranges Australian. That's insane.
You deserve that after like an entire
$20 a
generation
model.
of cheap models.
They haven't been updated in 28 years. That's why they're cheap.
They're classic, I swear.
And now they have been updated, and they're priced the same as everyone else.
It's
you
not
go.
everyone else.
You
It's
wanted this.
$20 a model. That's insane. It's insanity.
Have you seen the heavy intercessors?
That's true. No, are they cheaper now?
They're 110. They were 110
Oh, that's just so unreal.
for 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So surely these guys are going to be crazy. Yeah.
I reckon they'll be the same as Sisters of Battle when they first came out.
You know,
It's
speaking
going to
of
be
prices,
pretty much
actually,
the exact same.
What do you guys think? This is a really spicy topic to bring up, and obviously very controversial. But what do you think about the thought of squats being released by Games Workshop because they're not having a great time financially right now? Like squats has been.
I don't see it. They've reported record profits like last
No, they haven't.
year.
but
They've done
everything's-
way worse.
Yeah,
Were
they've
they?
done
Last year.
pretty bad. Yeah, and I mean squats
Maybe
have
it's record
been
bad.
Squats have been hanging around for ages, and everyone going, "Oh, I love squats," but they've never released them, and they've kept these in the back pocket for such a long time. And it could just be the fact that they designed these a while ago, and they've brought them out because they just need that that extra little bit of cash.
My thought is
know.
that they
I
designed
don't
these
know.
guys the same time as they designed the Primaris intercessors. Mainly because the guns themselves have the same sort of like battery design, as the power cells that are on the back of the Primaris power packs. And the same sort of cell design that you see on literally everything Primaris.
That's very true.
I was going to say, I might have to find the image, but there was an image on Reddit the other day where someone was commenting on the Avatar of Cain box. It said developed in 2016 or something like that. So the fact that they've been sleeping on it for like 6 years or something like that. So squats could have been around ages ago, and they just went, okay, now's a good time, and they just released it because they needed it or something.
So when you say they've been sitting on it, have they been sitting on it, or have they been squatting on it?
They've been squatting on it for sure.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
I'm here all week.
I do have to. I do have to preface that with we don't want to offend any squat people listening out there. Oh, I just said squat again. I can't stop saying it. It's a derogatory term.
I listened to the last podcast, Ron, you spoke about squats and their names and how it's offensive, and then
here we are offending them every day of the week
again. Yeah,
this is how we do.
I think the one thing we can all agree on is that they'll just be called squats.
Yeah,
they will just be squats.
They can put Leagues of Votann on it all they want. They're going to be squats.
Votanians.
Yeah. I mean, that's from Omega, as you well know. So
exactly right.
I still call them Eldar. They haven't been Eldar for a long time, so.
No, I mean, that's because they're Imperial Guard.
Ah. Yeah. So I always get confused. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Actually, talking about marine armor and marines.
Segue.
I feel like we need to talk about the
Beakies, baby.
Beakies. I mean, we touched on it on our very first episode of the pod, with obviously the new trailer and stuff from Adepticon. But now they've shown off like all of these Beakies. I really want to talk to you guys about this.
Yeah,
because I feel like
so good.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna see more and more of these in 40k armies. Just because of the scale.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
Just throw some bolt rifles on them, intercessor beakies. Done.
Well, they already have bolt guns, so I mean they're pretty close.
I mean, bolt guns with bayonets. That's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. Bayonets as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure there was also like a chain bayonet, like in one of them. Is the Death Guard guy?
Yeah. It looks a little bit gooby.
Cool. It looks awesome. It reminds me of Gears of War.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
With the Lancer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm curious as to whether or not there were any sort of conversions when these were designed, and then those like community pictures were taken. I don't know. Like I just kind of feel like they're kit bashing, especially like with the Thunder Fist.
The Thunder Fist.
It's a lightning claw. I call it that because it's a lightning claw and a power fist.
Yeah.
It's
just very
is it
big.
Both? My goodness.
So a lightning claw and a power fist become a Thunder Fist.
I mean, if I was going to call it anything.
It's a 30k lightning claw, but obviously because it looks like a power fist, Matt sees power fist.
My major concern is that if you look at, one of the new images of those guys, on one of their legs, I feel as though someone when painting it had a bad time, and clearly they cut one of the legs the wrong way, right, Matt? I feel as though definitely one of their thighs, they've got some kind of they slipped with the clippers or something.
They have like a welding mark that runs down the center of the thigh. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Matt, I just feel like you can relate to this so strongly.
You've listened to the previous podcast that we threw up on your channel, did you?
For those who are in the dark, Matt brought this up like 2 podcasts ago, and everyone was like, we have no idea what you're talking about, Matt. We can't see it at all. But
man.
It's definitely on that one.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about either. They're
crazy.
I don't know what we're talking about, and I just wanted to bring it up to
I reckon somebody noticed it because it was in one of the old articles, and it was definitely on one of the pictures. You could see like some like seam that nobody cut off, or it looked like a welding mark that someone had like welded two pieces of panel together.
Right.
I don't know, man.
If you say so, buddy.
Yeah.
If you say so.
Yeah, all right. Just washing machine me with opinions. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like, I think these guys look so good.
Yeah.
And it just makes me feel like I want to see more Firstborn stuff reimagined in the contemporary style, because, like, models nowadays look awesome. And they just don't have, like, with Marines especially, they just don't have that kind of history that the original Firstborn stuff has. And
well, what would you revamp? Because a lot of the stuff has already been revamped as intercessors. Terminators, that's a good shout. I was thinking like Thunderfire cannons or like a tank or something, but
yeah,
they're all
dreadnoughts. I'd rather have my dreadnoughts not just stand there and do the mighty L's with their arms, just like pointing forward.
Yeah, yes,
like,
but they've
give
got
some
all
more
the new
dynamic
stuff. They've
poses
got
to
the
these
big
things.
nappy. We've got the nappy dreadnought, and they got the Invictor and stuff.
What do you call it? The Centurions. They can be, you can turn them from landscape to portrait.
Yeah.
Please.
No, they have to keep the Centurions because now they have the Obliterators, which are based on Centurions.
Oh.
You
What,
monsters.
the new Obliterators. There you go.
The new Obliterators, yeah. They have, like, if you just check their feet out, they have Obliterator feet.
At
Right.
least, like,
Not Obliterator feet, Centurion
at
feet,
least
that
you
one.
can make them more, like, dynamic, not just kind of standing there.
I mean, yeah, they do look
Actually-
like they're just sort of over encumbered, but whatever.
Yeah. I just like the small details about these guys. Like, one thing that my eye is drawn to, and I hate to bring back the Death Guard guy again, but it's just the way that he rests his hand on the grip of the bolt gun. Like, just the
When
fact that
you
he's got
say
the finger, he's got the
resting his
fire
hand,
safety.
yes, he has good trigger safety.
Yeah.
And as somebody who does shoot firearms, having good trigger safety is something that's very rarely seen in anything Warhammer related. So
That's
it's
true.
We live in
very, very
Australia,
nice to see.
by the way, everyone, just to clarify, we don't
Yep.
live in America. Thank you, Matt.
So not everybody has a gun.
Yes.
No,
Matt
we don't.
has a gun, and we're all very scared.
Yes.
Yeah. But it is good to see.
But yeah, like, it's so interesting to see, like, just this kind of little details when it comes to their posing. It just makes it just that little bit more natural, which once you go and look at your Firstborn Marines, you go, oh.
I like the grenade packs on the side. They hang off so well. The grenade packs on the Eldar models are just so chunky, and it looks like they're not supposed to be there. Those guys actually have pouches that seem like they fit really well.
That's the same of all Space Marines, dude. You're just going to have to get a better army.
I reckon these guys are going to be more opposed, though.
Well, one thing that I always want to call back to is that, yes, the standard like tactical Marine box is kind of, dated by this standard. But if you look at the Mark 3s and the Mark 4s, that plastic kit, because it's so customizable in terms of like the design of each of the models and the amount of options that you can get some very characterful poses and like some dynamic sort of positioning. These have, that same aspect in mind, right? They're supposed to be these Horus Heresy, like super customizable models. You can tell that a lot of the body parts are recycled between them. There's 5 different poses in the kit, but
yeah, I was going to ask, like, you reckon like these guys are going to be more monopose than previous kits?
I think that their arms are going to be a little bit more customizable than the standard tactical Marine kit, but it's never going to be as good as the previous Heresy ones, like the Mark 3s and the Mark 4s.
It'll probably be the standard release thing where they go, hey, these 10 guys are the first of the kit, but they're all monopose. The multi-part kit's coming in 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes
You've
sense.
got the finger on the pulse there, Jimmy.
It seems like, yeah. Especially, they did that especially with the sisters. That first box set was like, they're all monopose, but they're plastic. The multi-part kit's coming later.
Yeah, I can see that. This would be the starter set. Box.
Yeah.
That's it. Well, one thing really good about this upcoming box set is you're going to get 2 sides of a Horus Heresy army, but because it's Horus Heresy, you could have one big army.
Yeah. They all
This is
fit
true.
together as one force anyway.
Yeah,
like
it all
like
works out.
everybody did for Betrayal at Calth and what was the other Ultramarine versus Wordbearer was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, whatever that box set was. Like those
Assault
two
on
boxes.
Blackreach.
Yes.
No.
Yes, that was it.
The very
the word
green-
bearers.
Yes. The very green
Word
Black
bearers.
Templars. Yeah.
I mean, they are the bearers of the word, and the word is Wa.
Yeah.
But those two boxes, people would just buy the box because it was such great value, and then you have a Terminator squad plus 40 Marines or 20 Marines or whatever it was, and then 2 characters, and it was just pat yourself on the back and go home. You've got an entire army now.
Burning of Prospero. That was the other one.
That's the other one. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Betrayal at Calth was the one.
I'm still quite keen on them though. Like, GW is doing a lot of things that I'm liking, and I don't like that I like it.
Ron, I feel as though you just need to chill and relax and not buy all the armies. You just have some
I need to
armies.
do that. No,
No, buy
This is not
everything.
how it works.
Buy everything Games Workshop puts out.
buy
Yeah.
everything.
Or, or Faran, you can just buy it all.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think Jimmy's speaking to me. Eldar, here I come.
Oh, okay. Welcome aboard.
Oh no, I don't like it. Never mind.
Well,
It's my turn to segue. In terms of how expensive that would be, crazy expensive. You know what else is crazy expensive? That Thondia box. The absolutely crazy expensive box that is literally just, hey, here's some terrain and a model with it we've secured safely nestled in this terrain that you can't get.
Wow.
300 and what, 70 Australian dollars?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like 4 pieces of terrain,
I did-
2 of which already are in another box.
Are the same? They're old terrain.
And a model that everyone will want because it works with everything. But you can only get it in this box set. So congratulations, Games Workshop. You've pissed me off.
Yeah, you've done it.
Do we need to take a step back while you continue?
Wow,
It is
Mr. Bond.
absolutely crazy. Yeah, it is. It's, I don't know. I'm just annoyed because when it comes to new terrain sets, sure, that's fine. Like you have a new Season of War. Great, you have new Sigmar terrain, fantastic. But to lock a model into that and then to make it almost $400 Australian just to get your hands on it is kind of ridiculous, especially because it doesn't even come with the book that is the new Season of War. You have to buy that too. And that's
It's
just
just-
what,
wait,
another
it's
70
just
bucks?
terrain.
That's absurd.
That's
yeah.
It's
that's
literally just terrain, a board, which it's a board, and this model, this like ghostly, aspect of beast
This
energy.
Amber Beast.
Yeah, and that's
Well,
$370
Matt,
bucks.
It's
So,
okay for
enjoy.
you because you've got that model that you said you were gonna use as the thing anyway, right?
I mean, I don't have that model. No, there's a Horus not Horus Heresy. It's Forge World,
whoa.
but it's not Horus Heresy. Yeah, I know, right? Caradron Overlords in 40k.
Yep.
No, it's a Forge World model that was like the aspect of the beast or something, like the incarnate of beast energy. Elemental incarnate of beast. Anyway, it's basically a monster
The same
that
thing.
represents pure beast energy. They had one for another, I think it was fire. So there was an elemental of fire, there was an elemental of beast. They were going to do an elemental of death, and then they just sort of shut everything, closed everything, and just went home. And then took it all down from Forge World. So it was there for a very short period of time. And here they are. Here's an elemental of beasts, which is a model that everyone can use. I don't know, I'm just kind of annoyed by the way that they've approached it. But hey, what is it? It's a new model that you can kit bash from Bones. So buy the box of Bones kit that you can get. $50.
Just buy the skull kit and then make a big swirl out of it.
Figure out which size base it is, and there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. That's how you do it. And then buy the Thondia book or find it somewhere that get one of your friends to buy it and then share it. And then you've got everything that you need to play this game.
That's very true. I'm
You know,
actually quite
actually,
disappointed
the-
to hear.
The skull kit actually has a skull that is pretty similar to the size of the head of the skull of that creature anyway.
It's just
like
a Carnifex
it has a big
skull.
Tyranid head. Yeah, like a Carnifex skull. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. In the Age of Sigmar, there are no Carnifexes.
Yeah, it's only
Yes.
dead
Well,
ones.
No
walk up to one of your
carnifexes yet.
mates. Yeah, walk up to one of your mates that has the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and then just punch him in the face, steal half his army, and then you've got the arms as well,
Yep.
and then the rest of
Just
the bones.
super glue his army together on
Wow.
one base.
And then
Yeah.
you get sued for assault, and it's still cheaper than the box that you would have bought anyway.
Yep,
The court
that's exactly
fees
it.
are still cheaper than that box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, actually, I don't know the rules for this thing, the actual thing that you want out of the box.
Has
the,
it been released?
incarnate.
The beast thing?
They talked about
Some of the
it a
rules
bit.
have been talked about, yeah. So the way that it
I just completely
operates
blanked on it.
is that everyone within a certain distance of it gets, I think, +1 to hit. And then it also has the ability to... it doesn't actually die. People attack it, and it's like the toad from the Lizardman kit, the big guy,
Oh, yeah.
Lord Croak,
The,
where you roll 3d6, and if you don't... Or I think it's 2d6, and if you don't beat its score, then it's still alive. Whereas if you beat its score, then in this game, then it goes down a level. And it has 3 levels. And it's like, once it goes crazy and disappears, or if the wizard that is controlling it dies, then it goes crazy and attacks everybody. It's weird.
okay.
Weird.
So you have to bind it to a character?
Yeah, you pick a character who's not a named character, and it's like a special enhancement. And then they run away and
Aw,
then
so he's got a
hide
cute
somewhere.
pet.
Yes,
He's got like
it
a
has
little
cute pet
Drago
that's a
boy.
I didn't realize they were
Big set
adding
of skulls.
Pokemon to Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, Pokemon.
You throw, like, a
Trazen's
piece of
wound his
amber out
way
there.
into it. Yeah.
Thondia Beast, I pick you!
No, that's what I was going to choose.
yeah.
Comes
he's
with his
just a
own
fire
evolution
starter.
stone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You put a cap on that one, so you just have like a different variant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like the anime.
Yeah. Gotta love Thondia. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's something new, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
It is something new, and it's expensive, and other
It
expensive
hurts.
new things.
I feel like every so often, I think GW does box sets. By and large, the box sets tend to have good value,
Mm.
and then every so often they bless us with this beautifully expensive, overpriced mess of a box. And I feel like you've perfectly described it in this one.
Yep.
The last one that I can, the last one in my current memory is the Eldari box set. That was like the Dark Eldar versus the Croft Worlds.
Pain,
Where was-
Oh, no, not Pain and Piety. That was the one after. You're talking about the one with Drazhar and Janezar?
That's the one.
How come? Was that bad?
It was quite expensive.
Oh,
For what it was.
I didn't pick it up, so I was.
Yeah, no.
Maybe
I
there's a
remember at
reason
the
why you
time,
didn't pick it up.
People were really bagging on GW on that one because like, and I completely agree with them because it was like 2 characters and a bunch of models that you could find anyways for like over $300 Australian.
Yeah.
And it was just too expensive for what it was. It was just nonsense. So spare yourself, guys. We don't need to buy this box. Probably wait. You'll get your beast eventually anyways.
Yeah, just get
Yeah, they'll
creative.
probably just release it separately anyway.
Yeah. You'll get a multi-part kit later.
Yeah.
It's really cheap to
Yeah.
buy that base somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right. I can't think of a segue, so let's just move on to the next topic.
Speaking of
we-
big things that you can put on the table.
yeah,
Skulls.
big things that do a lot of damage.
Big skull things.
Yes.
Yeah. Skull
I gotta
bugs.
talk to you guys. We have talked about them every episode of the BarnCast, just because they keep giving us these really big dumps of information. I think it's just because the Codex is coming out, right?
You're
Just
right. A few
right off the
nights in
nits.
a row. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights. We got weapon profiles this time, and I really wanted to talk to you guys about it because it really reminded me of us talking about the NIDS weapons before, with that power creep, with things just getting just that
More
bit
killy.
stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
everything's just
killy.
becoming just that bit more killy. I mean, have you guys had a chance to have a look at these? It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that did stand out to me was the fact that they take 2 mortal wounds every time they overcharge.
Yeah, I
And
did
kill
notice
himself.
that. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So
yeah, with
I mean,
with
it
the
makes
plasma.
sense
Instead of one.
for it to be as
Plasma, yeah.
impactful as plasma. Yeah, as it is for a marine. Like, surely they're doing more than 1 damage to the thing that's shooting it.
Yeah, one mortal wound is not a lot for a knight.
And I absolutely love the fact that they gave the Reaper Chainsword 2 profiles now. So you got your strike and sweep, so you can actually use it against infantry instead of walking up and being all like, "I'm gonna just tap dance on you" instead of using my big chainsword.
You know why?
Yeah.
That's because they're going to remove their feet profile.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, fair enough. It's
fair
included
enough.
here with the sweep.
exactly.
But it
And I
means,
think the
it
sweep
means
is so
that
much better.
the double gun knights aren't going to be as effective because their feet
It's
are
almost
going
like
to go away.
it's almost like they have 2 guns designed for shooting.
I reckon they'll still have a foot profile then, because a lot of things that are that size or are big and then have a double gun option will have a melee option anyway.
I don't think
It's
it'll
just
be.
going to get a lot worse.
I don't think it'll be as
It'll-
potent though anymore.
No,
as it was.
it's going to be the same as the Wraith Knight. The Wraith Knight, its feet was 3 attacks each, and it had 4 attacks, same as a normal knight, as it is now. And then they changed it so that the feet are only 4 attacks, I think, and they're like 2 damage, something like that, instead of having the 12 attacks. And if you want to hit infantry in combat, you have to have a sword, so that you can do a big sweep.
I mean, fair enough.
Because otherwise Titanic stuff can fall back and shoot for free. So and most Titanic things like walkers and stuff like knights have their own rule where they can fall back and charge. So they're just going to fall back and shoot and charge
I mean,
anyway.
they're vehicles as well, right? So they can just shoot in combat anyways.
Yeah, but a lot
on
of that
which
stuff's going to
weapon.
be blast.
Yeah,
Yeah. And most of the knights, anyway, I'm pretty sure are just going to fall back and shoot and charge. I think the war dogs won't do that because they're too small. But the big knights, they will. Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to ask you, Jimmy, about this because, like, I know you have like that very lovely looking knights army that you get Jackson to work on for the channel.
Mm.
yeah.
Yes.
I got the good draw with that one.
Because like these are changes for both Imperial and Chaos Knights. Even though we've been hearing a lot more from Chaos Knights up till now, I want to get your 2 cents out of it. Like, what are you excited about seeing more? Is there any changes to your current army that you're thinking of based off of what you've seen?
So I think the one that I like mentioned about the Reaper Chainsword, how it's got the 2 profiles now, is so much better because I don't know what it is. I just love the big chainsword. It's just cool. It's just cool.
It's just 40k, man. It's very 40k.
That's what I mean. And it's like, you rock up to a blob of 20 dudes and you're like, I just want to hit you with my chainsword, but my feet are better. Sweet. It just gets a bit boring. But I am really keen. Like some of these weapons changes, especially their Chaos Laser Destructor. D3 plus 6 damage. What is that?
A typo,
That's
surely.
very true.
No way.
Like it's 2 shots. That's cool. But you were doing a minimum of 7 damage if you get it through.
Yeah, but
And
the
both go
railgun's
through.
1 shot, and that's a minimum of 10.
That's crazy
true.
to
But
me.
you only have 1 die to get through.
The
Yeah.
Storm Surge has a gun that's 2 shots, and it's minimum 12.
This is the world we live in. Everyone should just
Yeah.
run infantry armies
this
always.
is a perfect example of the power creep. Like, since when are we looking at strength 14 guns?
It's crazy.
AP minus 5? What is
Look,
this?
I'm just gonna run all Deathwing and I'll be fine. Just walk out there. Oh, strength 14, more like strength 4. Take that.
I reckon for sure they're going to have some stuff that ignores that. Especially Chaos Knights, they're probably going to have a strat or a relic or something that ignores invulnerable saves as well.
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean, the involved save ignoring is fine, but the rule literally says ignoring all other rules. This model can only be wounded on a 4/5 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It is
I kind
crazy.
of feel bad for the the noble Imperial Knight because it seems like Chaos Knights, as much as Chaos is chaos and they get gifts of chaos, etc. But it would be nice to see the Imperial Knights to get something fun like that as well.
Well, I think that's because Imperial Knights have all of the extra love and support from Forge World. Because Chaos Knights don't have any Forge World. Whereas
Really? I thought they could
the-
both run it. Oh.
No, I don't think that you can run any of the Imperial Knights stuff as Chaos, except for maybe like one Whereas there's like 5, 6 or whatever extra knights from Forge World that you can run in your Imperial Knight army. But they have to
Would
be
you rather?
Imperium.
Well,
But if you don't want to...
No, go ahead, man.
Okay, I was going to say, but if you don't want to spend your life savings on buying one Knight Lancer from Forge World and just have the plastic stuff, you know, having something cool for the Imperial Knights would be good. You know,
So,
I don't know what the answer is to that. But
one thing I
my
wanted to
question
bring
here
up.
would be if you're would you rather have, say, 4 knights on the table as Chaos Knights or 5 knights on the table as Imperial Knights, because your models are cheaper because you don't get those extra benefits of being Chaos Knights?
Oh, they'll get benefits.
yeah,
Everything will get the same amount. Like, it's going to be the same book, pretty much.
There is something that I want to bring up, and that is, I'm not sure if it was a rumor or a leak or something, but I've heard through the grapevine that we might be able to partner these guys with, like, for Chaos Knights, Agents of Chaos, so any of the Chaos like factions. Apparently, there's like, I think it's more of a leak than a rumor, but you'll be able to take like a free blade, or what is the Chaos equivalent, the Dread Blade, with your Marine factions again, without breaking detachment like the requirements.
That sounds fine.
See, that,
to be honest,
that would make sense. 'Cause they did do that in.
Because
Was it the last Adeptus Mechanicus Codex? Or was it the 8th edition one? I can't remember. There was one of the codexes they did. And
I
they
mean, in
had
8th edition, you could just soup anything, right?
Yeah, I think it... But they actually had knights in their codex.
Yeah, Mechanicus did, yeah.
Yeah,
Mechanicus did. Yeah, so... I mean, it proves that it can be done. So, and it would make sense that a free blade would just hitch a ride with, you know, an Imperial Guard regiment going to war or something and being like, yeah, man, I'll come and help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I
it
feel
was
like
what
that
knights were
opens up-
originally supposed to be, right? They're supposed to be like, hey, buy this box, which is a big model that you can put with your Imperium army.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more
That's
chaos.
how it was sort of like originally positioned before people were like, oh, now you can have your own army of them. Awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was when knights didn't even have a codex. You could have, like, I think it was the Knight Paladin where you had the battle cannon and the chainsword, and that was it. And then the first Knight Codex came out, and I think there were 2 different knights in it. And even then, you're just like, I'll just use them alongside my Space Marines or something.
You know,
Yeah,
what
It must
they
have been a
need, Jimmy?
short book.
That's
Jimmy, they need a shield. That's what the Imperial Knights need for the good guys.
it's
'cause
their
the
void
other-
shields.
Yeah, because the Chaos Knights, they got the big flail thing on their arm, the new
The
Psychic
tactical
Knight.
arm.
Yeah.
The tentacle arm. If the Imperial Knight's got a big shield, and I'm not saying like that what is it, the Yu-Gi-Oh deck like the Wraith Knight has, like the Yu-Gi-Oh arm thing.
I know what
I
you're
know,
talking
right,
about, but I want
Yeah.
I want you to keep struggling with it.
I don't know what
Yeah.
it's called. Matt, help me out.
The-
The
the
Yu-Gi-Oh
Dual
thing.
deck.
The dual,
Deck thing.
the dual arm.
Come on,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. I'm not saying that. Like some kind of other really cool looking shield, but yeah, a shield and a sword, that'd be dope.
Well, you know, going back to your thing of Forge World, is the Knight Lancer is exactly what you just described.
Yeah, I know. It's got that big shield, yeah. That's
There
why
you
I
go.
brought it up.
It has a sword,
There you go.
it has a
So
lance
the-
and a shield.
Yeah.
The good guys do have it exclusively.
I know. I was very keen on getting a knight to run with my Marines, especially because like I picked up all of the hobby back again in 8th edition, and you had the freedom of choice, and I think I might be able to do it again because like if obviously this is like what's going on with both types of knights, I would love this. I feel like there's a lot of armies missing that super heavy like vehicle, which was these guys. These guys were exactly that. Like
I would much rather verse a force, like a normal standard force where there's some guys, there's some infantry, a biker unit, whatever, and then one knight, rather than versing 5 knights. Because that's it's either you lose immediately or you brought like 45 tank busters and you beat that one player and then you lose against everyone else.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
I feel like you're speaking from experience with this one.
Look, okay, it was one game on TTS. I wanted to play Knights one time, Matt, and he just happened to bring 45 tank busters.
Yeah, I had no idea what army he was bringing, and I was like, you know what would be fun with the new 9th editional codex? I'm going to bring a whole bunch of Death Copters and Tank Busters, and then I just hammered him to death. It was great.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I'd love to see them in more tables, just like that. I'd like to paint one up to be a little bit more Nocturnian to run with my salamanders.
And I think that you would see more knights if they brought it back as that.
Yeah.
Whilst I think you would, and this is something that sort of like I'm throwing around in my head at the moment, is the fact that you either bring them because you basically get an entire codex full of rules that go along with them because they have access to all their stratagems and all their rules that come from that book. Also, great idea, Games Workshop. That way, people buy 2 books for 1 army.
I was going to say, pricked James Workshop's
I am a
ears.
Marine player, sir. I buy 3 books.
Yeah.
Great point. Either that, or you don't bring it because the amount of anti-tank in the game now is just so crazy huge that it'll just get deleted off the table turn 1.
And that I think that's why you don't see them as much anymore either, because we're talking about that power creep, where you were saying that the railgun is strength, stupid, and damage, whatever, go home. And the knights don't have anything to defend against that. Like, you can give one dude rotate iron shield, the other guy 2+ save, the rest of them will just blow over to a stiff breeze.
Rotate ion what? It ignores invulnerable saves.
Well, that's exactly right. So what's the point in even doing it? So you have put 4 models on the table. Turn 1, you're taking 4 models off the board. Sweet, game over. Bye.
Yeah, but it's getting to that point now where it's just like, okay, I went first. No more hammerheads for you, and you just remove them all. So it's whoever goes first now. You just wipe everyone else's anti-tank.
Maybe it pulls reserves into the game a bit more.
Yeah,
I feel like Warhammer 40k and Sigmar as well, to an extent, is just now becoming you either have the good armies, which are just like super like tweaked to efficiency, and those are games that you play against each other, and then you have the bad armies that are just like, I don't know, Imperial Guard versus Imperial Guard. And you have them play games against each other, and those are really fun.
Nailed it.
Okay. Against demons then. Yeah. And then you basically just have 2 not great armies, but like the models stay on the board, and then you have them slowly whittle against each other.
Dare I say, have fun.
Yes, there you go. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to trigger
you. In the near future, when the Chaos Knights book is released, I believe the Chaos Knights player that we know is going to be on the channel.
The one?
The only. He's going to bring his Chaos Knights, and I think what's planned is that he'll be versing Eldar, but 3 Wraith Knights. And I'm going to try and deep strike all of them. So it'll just be like, here's my Chaos Knights, and then I'll just go, haha, and have 3 random Wraith Knights appear, and we'll have an all-out brawl, just like the cinematic trailer from Dawn of War 3.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, have you guys seen that Exodite episode where the Eldar just show up?
Yep.
It's on Warhammer Plus. Yeah. Anyway, there's a scene where just like some Eldar Phantom Titans, I think, just rock up.
Nah.
And
I think is it a Phantom or is it a Revenant? It looks like a Revenant.
It's probably a Revenant.
It could be
actually,
a Phantom.
Yeah.
They're both.
I don't know your knights, dude. They look the exact same except one is taller.
They were very spooky looking. And that's all we know.
Yeah.
Lanky as.
I think it's a Phantom.
So I think that they did the Titans in that pretty well. That's probably the only part of that episode.
Especially seeing as the Eldar one literally came out of a portal, ran across the battlefield, and just obliterated a Warlord Titan in one hit. I think that's pretty accurate, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, besides that. I feel like you're a bit biased in that statement there, Jackson.
No. I think it was great. I loved every minute of it. It was perfect. I don't know what I would change, really.
All 5 seconds of that scene, as he's like slides on his knees across an entire battlefield and then just cuts a Titan in half. Yeah.
Yeah, just completely splits one down the middle. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Now, guys, I feel like we only have time for one more topic. So
yes,
I really, really want to bring this up because it only came out like recently, and it's so exciting that I may or may not start playing Necromunda.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Road Train.
guys, it's literally just a crate on wheels.
It's glorious.
Why
Look
Yeah.
am I so amazed at this crate on wheels?
Yeah, but it's a new crate.
That's what
on
a
wheels.
semi-trailer is. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Get hyped.
I'm keen for the new semi-trailer just so I can loot it and use it for something completely different.
Dude, imagine
can
this
you
as a
please-
what do you call it? Battle wagon for
There you go.
orcs.
A looted wagon.
Looted wagon.
Yeah. I was
I'm
gonna
looking
say,
at it.
Matt, can you please just like hook this up to the back of a Death Killer War Trike and just have him like carry it around as his little like extra baggage as he's zipping around the table?
Matt, this is my proposition to you.
Yeah.
You get this train, you orcify it, and we make a crazy narrative mission where there's like an orc looted truck, like the looted train, traveling around like we have the desert map as well.
Oh yeah, we've got the desert
Yeah.
map, all right.
yeah,
we've
we
got
could
it.
have like a
Yeah.
whole like high speed like battle. I remember
And
we talked about this.
We could have Neil verse with his Mad Max Fury Road Gene Stealers.
Oh, that's even
Oh
better.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say you're just saying like let's make a Mad Max tabletop game.
Yeah.
Yep.
40K
I mean, we
Mad
can do
Max.
that.
We're in.
Yeah.
How about we prepare that for Christmas, okay? Because it's Australian. Christmas Down Under, Mad Max, Fury Road,
Battle
Gene
Report.
Stealer Colts versus Orcs Battle Report. Yep.
I
can
think
see
that's
it
pretty
happening.
cool.
Lock it
Yeah.
in.
Lock
Yeah.
it in. Locked.
Mm-hmm. Locked.
Honestly,
Locked
Neil
and
would
loaded.
probably paint everything involved because he
He's
just
just that kind
seems
of guy.
to love this
He's Neil.
design.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
he was so keen on these bugs. I mean, like, oh, the juxtaposition. I'm just looking at that image of like the road train with all the bugs just trying to like loot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, oh, Jimmy, you perfectly like brought it up before. Like, they're like 40K. What is it? 40K Tusken Raiders.
Tusken Raiders. Yeah.
Mmm.
It's
Absolutely.
beautiful, beautiful. Alright,
Neil
well,
will definitely
where's
have to do
Boba Fett?
something about those dudes that are like in the back of the box on top of the main, whatever the main box is, I guess. There's two
The
guys
caboose?
sticking out the top with guns, but they're just so ramrod stiff that it just looks so out of place.
Surely you can put them in and like pivot them. Surely.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. You'd have to be able
Maybe.
to, right? Why are they standing half inside a cargo container?
Because
That's-
Don't you
that's a
store
fair question.
cargo in there?
no, I reckon that's just like the normal part of the actual train. Like they had the
No,
truck,
it's
they had the cargo container, they shoved it on, and they've like MacGyvered it together.
now it's just full of petrol because it makes the cargo.
Ah, hilarious. Wow.
Oh.
Hey, I stand by
Yeah.
it.
But
Yes.
these are auto guns as well, like auto cannons, because like
Mhm.
you can see like the drum barrels and stuff. Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Down the front has like a grenade launcher.
this. Oh yeah, yeah.
it does.
It's pretty wicked.
It
I like how
actually
these two guys
reminds
driving
me.
the thing.
Those guns remind me of the Astartes, like those episodes of Astartes that the guy made. You know how there's that dude,
Yes.
that sniper that just sort of locks a barrel? That's exactly
Yeah.
what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. Yeah.
Mm,
Wow.
Maybe they brought him on
Got
just so
some.
they could steal that design.
That's
Maybe,
it.
yeah.
They won't get in trouble for that. I gotta say, shout out to the guy who was just sitting in the passenger seat. He looks like he's like looking at his watch and just going like, "I wonder when I'm
He's
gonna get
looking
there."
out the window. He's doing that thing
Are
where
we there
you
yet?
like you hold your hand out and you have your fingers run along the power lines as the car's moving. You know, you guys do that as a kid.
You're
You have
moving your
like your
hand up and
fingers
down
along
in the
the power
wind.
And you're trying to
Yeah.
like, you're pinching your fingers together so you can like grab the cars in the distance.
Yeah, squinting.
You just model him with his arm out the window. My hand is a dolphin.
Yeah.
Or whatever the hell they have in the ash waste. I don't know.
I mean, he looks pretty excited, like they're going to Macca's or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's McDonald's or Mickey D's for everyone else
Yes.
who's not Australian. Good old
There you go.
Macca's.
So anything
When
with
Mum
the
says
time
that
and-
Mum
Yeah,
says
just-
that we have cargo containers at home.
And it's just
Yeah.
this one, like.
Yeah, just the barrels.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I feel like we run out of time here today, but I'd like to thank you guys for a very fun episode.
Oh, by all means.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome.
It's been a
I'm
time.
glad I could be an idiot on the internet yet again.
Yeah.
It's becoming a profession, and I love
You
it.
have a knack
We're all
for this,
Neanderthals.
bro.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. It's like I was born to be an idiot on the internet. What will I do next? Who knows?
Oh my!
Everyone jump on Patreon to keep him there.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Um,
Someone on stream the other day said, buy Jack a ticket to the Nova Open. And I was like, okay, yeah, I would go to that. I have no idea what kind of dumb stuff I would do there. I'd get there and lose every game, no, for sure.
And you
But
just
it'd be a
smile
good
to the
That's
top
fine.
down cam.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Literally just bring a Revenant on. Be that one guy that brings a 2,000 point model and just loses every game badly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just happy to be there though. Well, yeah.
Just see my time.
Well,
Mm.
thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Check us out on the rest of the channel. We've got a bunch of streams coming up as well. I mean, Jackson, you got one on what?
Yes.
On
there was one
Saturday?
yesterday. There was one yesterday in terms of when this podcast is coming out. And there's one tomorrow. It will be Nids versus Tau. I think Cooper is returning. So if you want to see... Yeah, I think it'll be Farside Enclaves, and I might play Jormungandr again. So
That's gonna be
check
good.
that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Epic.
Well, thank you for listening, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.